Welcome to Coimbra, Portugal. It seems like all of our Portugal videos are going to follow a similar pattern, which is showing you beautiful historical places mixed in with delicious regional foods, but we're not complaining. Food here has been incredible and we're actually going to start the day with some delicious local pastries.
O nome de isso? Que é isso? Tentugal. Sim. Ok, obrigado. Look at this healthy spread of Coimbra favorites. We have two famous pastries. We have the Tentugal and the Pastel de Santa Clara. I think specifically the Pastel de Santa Clara is super famous here in Coimbra. It was invented by nuns, I think, in the 19th century, and they sold them to students here in Coimbra. It became very, very popular. And also the Tentugal, I think it's also invented by nuns, so thank you nuns for inventing these sweet treats. I'm gonna start with the Tentugal. It's like thin layers of dough topped with like the same egg custard that you have in pastel de nata. And I think it was supposed to be so thin that you could read the Bible through the dough. That's how they measured like a successful layer of Tentugal. It looks very beautiful. Let's see how this baby is.
Already?
The dough is so light. It's like incredible. Look at this. I'm amazed by how flaky this is. The custard actually tastes nothing like pastel de nata, but it's very delicious. It's not too sweet. They don't put too much powdered sugar on this one, not compared to the pastel de Santa Clara, which is just loaded with powdered sugar.
Look at this. Oh my gosh, there's so much powdered sugar. It's gonna be a mess. It's not gonna be cute, but I'm sure it's gonna be delicious.
It's gotta be cute.
Oh my gosh. This is so good. It's like the dough, it's a little bit like denser and a little bit drier. It's not like a phyllo dough. And in the inside, I don't know if you can see it, there's like the egg custard and it has a lot of cinnamon. You can really taste it and it's really, really good. I'm a huge fan. What is this called? Pastel de Santa Clara. Thank you, nuns. This is the best way to start a Wednesday. We're sitting outside, enjoying the beautiful weather. The sun is out and it's starting to warm up. We're playing live music, all the students, and we're like in the entrance of the old town. That's what we're going to show you next. But we're going to finish this first. Just like Lisbon and Porto, Coimbra is also split by a massive river. This one is called the Mondego River, and it is beautiful. I think it has so much charm to the city. So it divides the city into east and west, and right now we are in the east side, which is where most of the historic sites are, and we're starting the explorations today at Rua Ferreira Borges. First impressions?
There is a lot of energy in Coimbra. I did not expect this. It's like 10:30 a.m. The cafes are packed, and it's not just people eating pastries and drinking coffee. Like they are boozing it up, and it's not like the students. So this is like a student town, but it's like older people in the cafes just like drinking hard, getting after it. I like the energy. There's like live music everywhere. The architecture is very beautiful. Great first impressions. We just passed under Arco de Almedina and we are officially in Coimbra's beautiful old city. So Coimbra used to be occupied by the Moors who came from North Africa. There are like Medina vibes here. There's very like narrow streets kind of like winding up to the top of the hill. This is also where like the students live. So there's like a ton of like graffiti and like student housing. So it's like an interesting mix of like old like historical stuff and like student housing, I guess. Very, very cool, but we're gonna wind our way up the hill to the most iconic site in all of Coimbra.
Welcome to the University of Coimbra. This is Portugal's oldest and most prestigious university, and it was built on the grounds of a former palace, like where the King of Portugal used to live when Coimbra was the capital of Portugal in the 12th century. And it is stunning here. However, it feels like a lot of it is under construction, but we're still going to explore it because they're supposed to have one of the most beautiful libraries in the world, and it's super famous, and you basically cannot come to Coimbra without visiting its university, which does not remind me of where I went to school. But let's go. Let's go to the library.
So when you come to the university, it's free to just walk around and explore the campus, but if you want to visit the most important sites like the old library behind me, the old chapel, and the royal court, then you have to pay a ticket of 12.50 euros. We just went into the library behind us. They kind of limit your time to 10 minutes in the famous library. It's very, very nice. It's known as the most, or one of the most beautiful libraries in the world. And it's pretty spectacular. I don't know if the most beautiful library really gets the blood pumping, but it is very, very nice. It's covered in gold leaf, old books from the 1700s. And also a fun fact about the library is that a colony of bats lives in the library, and they let them come out at night to eat the bugs to preserve the old volumes of books. Very interesting. But again, they don't give you much time, which is why we don't have much footage. It's just 10 minutes in there, and then they kick you out. I don't think we've mentioned this yet, but we're here in Coimbra the first week of October, and this is when the new school year starts. So we've seen a ton of cool traditions and rituals that relate to the initiation of the new school year. So we saw students dressed in black cloaks, raising money by playing music and singing in the downtown area, and also freshmen in crazy costumes with empty cans tied around their ankles, just walking around the downtown, making tons of noise. You really get a sense of how much this is really the heart and soul of Coimbra. It's been very, very cool to see. It's already lunchtime.
Wait.
Thank you.
Oh, wow.
I guess I wait, huh?
It's up to you.
That looks good. So this is chanfana. It's one of the most traditional dishes here in Coimbra. It's a goat stew, cooked in a clay pot with a red wine sauce. It smells very good. I think there's garlic in there. And I read also piri piri, which is a spicy pepper. I'm hoping that's in there. I usually never order goat, but in Coimbra you have to go for it. It does smell very good. That is good. It has a ton of flavor. It's not too goaty. Goat can be kind of musky, but it's not like that at all. It's very rich and hearty, delicious. I don't really taste the piri piri, but
Is it spicy?
It's not spicy. It's just hearty and savory and very delicious. I'm gonna enjoy my chanfana.
Bravo. I'm impressed.
So we're going to end our day here in Coimbra with something that we think is pretty cool, and that is traditional Fado music. We weren't intending on showing you Fado until we circled around Portugal and ended up in Lisbon, where Fado originated. But it turns out that Coimbra has its own very special style of this music. So if you don't know what Fado is, that's okay. I'll tell you very quickly. It's like a type of music that originated when the sailors in like Lisbon, the men like took off for like months at a time to like trade or go to war or whatever. And like the women, they like sang songs about like longing and sadness, and it was very like deep music. But here in Coimbra, they have like a special twist to it, where it's like more often sung by men, and it's more about like nostalgia, about like living in Coimbra and studying at the university. So even in like the local Fado in Coimbra, the university still plays a big part of it. It should be pretty cool. So sit back and relax and enjoy the Coimbra music. Coimbra Fado. Saudade da universidade.
We'll show you. Bye.